where you are sitting is one of, and what does decapolis mean? Yeah, you are sitting in one of the 10. There was a league of 10 Greek cities, and that 10 became known as the 10 polis cities. So you are in the one Decapolis city that is on this side of the Jordan River. Do you remember you're looking over at those hills, and those hills are Jordan, and in the distance. And between where we're sitting and the country of Jordan is the Jordan River. And so only one city of the 10 cities of the Decapolis was on this side of the Jordan River, and that's the one you're sitting in. So this city is known as Bet-Shan, B-E-I-T or B-E-T-H, depending on how you see it anglicized into our writing. Shan, S-H-A-N or S-H-E-A-N. You'll see it spelled many different ways. But that's where we are, Bet-Shan. Now open in your Bibles to the last chapter of 1 Samuel. And what we've done is we've gone from the time of Christ, from the ministry of Christ that mentions this city, to its Old Testament heritage. Now, if you look behind me and in front of you at the big mound of dirt back there that has one dead tree on the very top of it. If you see the dead tree, say yes. Okay? What you're looking at, and that dead tree in all your pictures will remind you that it was on that spot that the event we're going to look at happened. And that is that Saul, king of Israel, first king of Israel, his body was nailed to the wall of that city. His head was taken inside the city and put in the temple of Dagon. His armor was taken, stripped from his body and put into the temple of Ashtaroth. This was the crossroads. The way of the sea, the Via Maris, it came up, crosses over the plains of Megiddo, the Jezreel Valley, comes here to the rift, goes up the rift, and goes on to Damascus in India. I mean, you could ship stuff from here to India. All of the travel from the Sea of Galilee came down this way, went over to the Mediterranean. All the way of the kings would come from the south. The Patriarch Road that we're going to talk about that goes through the Central Hills, all of that converges right here. So in other words, if you put something on the walls of this city, everybody sees it. Do you know what? Saul's disgrace wasn't just for his family, wasn't just for his tribe, wasn't just known by his own nation. This became an international news. What had happened to the king, the actual king of the earthly people of God, had his body plastered on the wall, his armor displayed in the temple of the Ashtoreths, his head, we're going to see in the next chapter, hung in the temple of Dagon. Remember Dagon? The Dagon had fallen at Bet Shemesh before the ark. Remember all that back then? They put the ark in the temple, they put it equal, and God knocked over Dagon. So what do? They take God's king and put his head in there. See, they're insulting God. And they don't realize what they're doing because they thought that they were putting the Israelites out of commission. And actually, what does this event end up precipitating? King David. They shouldn't have gotten rid of Saul. They didn't know what they're doing. It's kind of like they got rid of this loser, and here comes a man that was so powerful because he was totally after God's own heart. And God never let him lose a battle. As far as we know, never got wounded. 1 Chronicles 10 specifies why God allowed Saul to die. He died for his unfaithfulness. Do you see that in verse 13? And notice what it says, and I underlined it in my Bible, that he committed against the Lord. Do you see that detail? Did you know sin is not against the person you steal from or the person you lie to or the person you're proud toward? Who is it really against? All sin is really against whom? Yeah. Do you see how that is underlined in this passage? He said he sinned against the Lord. See, David saw that. What does Psalm 51 say? Against thee alone have I sinned, God. David, he didn't even, yeah, he'd messed up Uriah's life, killed him. He'd messed up, Bathsheba's life, killed her husband. But he said, against you, O God, against you I have sinned. All sin is against God. The second one is it says he doesn't keep the word of the Lord. Did you catch that? Because he didn't keep the word of the Lord. Let me ask you, when you read the Bible, do you read it to know facts or to do it? See, that we have a danger. Daniel said, we have not listened to the voices of the prophets in his prayer, his great prayer in Daniel 9. Do you know what he's saying? They read the Bible, they didn't obey it. God destroyed Saul because he did not keep the word of the Lord. Thirdly, because he consulted a witch, the occult. God immensely abhors anything to do with the occult. Horoscopes, palm readers, Ouija boards, tea readers, all of these people that are involved in the future, anything to do with witchcraft at all. And you have to be very careful. Some games are blurring witchcraft and games. Satan is always at work trying to infiltrate our lives with the occult. And fourthly, he did not seek guidance. He didn't inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said, if you belong to me, you should ask me directions.